Three, two, one.
Hey, you guys, welcome to our third episode of the Get the 411 on the 321. We are so excited to have you join us tonight. We have a great show for you, some very time appropriate information. And tonight's theme is hurricanes, not the drink, the actual hurricanes that we kind of get here on the coast from time to time. So, my name is Jamie Porter, and I am a realtor with eXp, and I'm excited to be the host of this show tonight. And we have our other realtor regular team here, the 321 Home team of Jerry Julio, Amy Bosco, and Eric Reed. I did not put your last names on there, so I had to pull that out of my head. And then we have two special guests that we will introduce in just a second. But I know for myself, one of the things, whenever I do open houses and we have new people moving to the area, we have thousands of people. We have 900 new people moving to the state of Florida every single day, in case you didn't know that. Not necessarily to Brevard County, but to the state of Florida. And every time I do an open house, and I have somebody who comes in who's new to the area, do you know what their two biggest fears are? Alligators and hurricanes. And being a native Brevard County resident, I always chuckle inside because alligators and I have some scary that can do that. I'm going to mute myself out and hope it's good. So alligators, sure, those are scary. Nobody wants to see one of those. But they're, we know where they are. They're not usually down suburbia, down the street. So we stay away from some things like that. And you can always call them, and they don't usually bother us. Hurricanes, I always chuckle because you can see them a million miles away when they're coming, right? And we have plenty of time to prep. Well, hurricane season begins June 1st, and we apparently already have a little disturbance off the coast, although I don't believe it's going to be coming our way. But regardless, it seems like it's already ready to start. So we wanted to make sure that you all were prepped and ready to go. So we have some great speakers on that topic. But before we start there, I wanted to give you guys kind of the this week's numbers on our market and new listings on the market today. The hot sheet is 102. We have 102 new listings. Praise the Lord. That is up because our inventory level is historically at a historical low, like drastically low. We need listings desperately for all the people moving to the area that need homes. So if you are contemplating, thinking about it, wondering what your house is worth, definitely reach out to one of us. We would love to help you, tell you what your house is worth, see if it's something, if you're downsizing, if you're upsizing, or whatever. You want a new investment property, let us know. We'll be out there to help you because listings are needed. Closed, we had 52 closed just today, and contingent and pending, we have 208. So people are buying all over the place. We need listings. There's lots of buyers. The market is picking up, and we are really, really excited that we are now on the upswing. That check mark is starting to happen. So on that note, I want to introduce my good buddy, Jerry, and he's going to introduce wrong order. I'm going to introduce my other good buddy, Amy, my little partner in crime in real estate world, Amy, and she's going to introduce our super special guest speaker. So Amy, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Jamie. Go ahead. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Hope we have lots of people watching tonight. I'm super happy and excited to be able to have Cameron Goodyear with us this evening. He is the founder of the Disaster Aid Relief team, and they have become pretty well known for their efforts in the Bahamas this last year. So, Cameron, I would love if you could share with everybody how you got started and where you expect to go from here.
All right. Thank you for having me, guys. So basically, I was in the military and infantry, and I was in combat for about 2.5 years. And I came home, did the civilian jobs, and I never really found something that fulfilled my desire to serve, desire to aid people. And the Bahamas happened. And I went down there with some few friends. We brought several thousand pounds of food, and we just kind of set it there and laid it there and took off. The people came up, grabbed the stuff, and everyone was happy. And I was just like, you know what? That didn't do enough for me. You know what I mean? I didn't get to see it go to the people. I didn't get to see it go into the homes and actually see if it went to the right people, because I heard so much about that. So I said, I don't want to do it that way again. And they were bent on doing it that way. So we went our ways. So after that, I said, man, there's got to be a way we can help more. So I started rallying my troops on my Facebook page and made DART become a business, a 501c, a nonprofit. And I started doing trips over there. And we became, we got a dog donated for the cause. We got about 600,000 pounds or more of food throughout the process of the 92 days I think we were on property there. Wow. I met some amazing friends that helped me along the way, provided boats, paid for all the boating, helicopters, the planes we took over there were all donated from local businesses here. And tons of generators. And I did a new way of going into these places where I just saw everyone just dump stuff and everyone come, stand in line and go, and get whatever they wanted to. Even if they didn't need it, people got it because it was trading power for them. Which understandable, because I'd been done the same thing. But so we go into we go to the house that's knocking on the door and say, hey, I'm Cameron with Disaster Aid Relief Team. We'd like to take a look at your place and see what we might be able to help you with. We go in there, take a look at it. Some roofs were down. Someone say, hey, we can patch your roof to make it not leak right now. I noticed you don't have power. Do you have a generator anywhere? They say, no. Okay, we got you a little generator or power lights, keep your refrigerator cool, whatever. So we did that to about 47 homes in the 90 days we were there. Supplied about 600,000 pounds of food total, and just tons of lights and supplies and whatnot.
How did you get it back and forth?
So there are a couple local businesses. They didn't want to be named, but they used their planes and helicopters to get back and forth. And I made a good friend during this period of time, and he voted me back about 8 times. And he's a very prominent person in town as well, but he didn't want to be named. So it is what it is.
Yeah, that's awesome that you had that much help.
Right. We got a few donations. If we would have got more donations, we've been in a lot more powerful of doing what we did. I think during the 90 days, we got about $7,000 worth. And I mean, that was awesome. But we got free lodging over there. I mean, right on the beach. I mean, the people were just open arms. It really, really changed me as a person to see people in that kind of state and we were able to help them. And it was just awful. From day 3 on, we were there. Just about, I think, day 3 or day 5, somewhere in that area. And people are looking for kids still, people looking for their parents still, people being found, people being pulled out of tops of their houses because they got stuck in the attics. It was really something, but it made me feel alive again. It made me, from the military background, I have always been that person to want to serve, and it allowed me to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciated the things that when we talked earlier, when you were saying how you made sure that you videotaped when you would bring certain things. If they donated it, you would make sure they saw video of them receiving
Absolutely.
it.
We had dolls being given, like, hey, I saw that little girl and she said all she wanted was the doll because she lost everything. And we became really close with them. They still actually message me even today, making sure we're okay, you know. And but we did a videotape of her getting a doll and her eyes opening. I mean, just people. We like people seeing, because there's so many people out there that try to take advantage of the system. Why not get you on your heartstrings and hey, look at these people donate and we'll keep half the money. And that's what a lot of these big companies do. They actually keep probably 90% of the money by paying for their CEOs, by paying for their stuff. So we try to do it a different way. I mean, we operated on $7,000 for 90 days and had free lodging. We got free cars while we were there. I mean, it's just a matter of reaching out to people and say, hey, you guys want nothing at your house if you let me borrow that 4-wheeler for the next 2 weeks, you know, stuff like that. And we took care of their house. We brought them a TV back because their TV died in the thing. Just being able to, I mean, it just makes me happy. It made me so happy, and be able to do that, and met a lot of amazing people. And I can't wait to, I can wait till another disaster, but I cannot wait to be able to come to the aid of somebody in a disaster.
Yeah, I see the emotion when you're talking about the kids and the parents being estranged and reuniting them and such. So I have no doubt that that was something that you can't forget once you see. So much like War Zone, when you have 25 feet of water come in. Like
if it would have been us, they would still be in that position right now because the United States, Florida would still be recovering just like they were because nobody's ready for 25 feet of water. Nobody.
No, Dolores, we aren't.
I mean, I can swim, but I don't know if I can swim with my kids, you know?
So Cameron, from here on out, when people find you, and they will, when they go to your page, what do you need at this point? Is it more monetary at this point? You said you have people donated things like garage space so that you can house.
Yeah, we have a warehouse. One of the roofing companies in town give me 6,000 square feet of their space because they're not using it right now, and they probably won't be using it for another 3-4 months. So in another place on Sarno Road, he let me have 5,500 square feet during the initial part of it, and then somebody rented it out and they had to get it. So we got with some realtors, and she goes, I know a guy that'll help, and she brought us over to there, and the guy that owns the Sarno Plaza there up at Sarno Road, he donated the whole building with AC, water, everything. So that was pretty awesome because we literally had 600,000 pounds of food in that place, along with diapers. I mean, million diapers, if not more. Wipes. I could build a house out of the wipes we had. Generators. It was just crazy. How fast it went too, and I owe that to all my Facebook followers and whatnot. But I mean, if I didn't have that, I mean, I would be still trying to get pieces of food. I mean, just one piece of food over, for God's sake, and I get planes full of them going over there now. So
yeah, but some of that you don't even realize, like that you would need the warehouse space to house the things to get it over there. So clearly, there are so many aspects when something like this happens, where you could just reach out. Anybody who has something or wants to know, just ask, because you might not realize that you have something that would be very essential during that time. So
we went nationwide really with it. I mean, Nine Line. This side. Nine Line actually reached out to me and then donated 150 beds with a company, and they were the $1,100 beds, the bed in the boxes that everybody wants, you know.
Yep.
So I had 150 of those, and they said, "Hey, if you can get those over to Bahamas, we'll do all your shirts for you." And they donated all the shirts for me, and so I mean, we had a lot of we had Huck Fishwear. They sent a bunch of shoes for us, waterproof, skid-proof shoes. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, the stuff that we got, but we could have done so much more with more ability to have it. So, I mean, with $7,000 for 90 days, and we were able to help 4,700 homes, and you have places that are getting millions and millions of dollars, like I said earlier, and they're not even doing half of what I did. That was unbelievable to me to be able to see in real life, because I always heard that these big organizations, 90% of the money goes to the people that are running it. We are 100%. No one's making any money here. I got a great job, and everybody else that volunteered for a week, they got free stay over there in Bahamas, which is pretty fun and awesome at the end of the day, getting in the ocean and stuff. But all that stuff adds up after a while. If I had to pay for all that, there's no way I would have been able to do that. So I appreciate everybody that ever helped.
Okay. So then monetary at this point, until something goes on and you need actual.
We really need to have a nest egg, I guess they would call it, waiting for the next event. Bahamas, we're pretty restricted from going there. I think everybody is at this point because of the COVID-19. So we've stopped all operations over there. We did send one team over to the earthquakes in, where was that? The earthquakes that are happening.
Yes.
We sent one over there, and they had such
right?
Yeah, they had such a good response over there, and we were already all the way on the island over there in the Bahamas. We decided to stand down on that, but we would like to do stuff in the United States as much as possible, but we are an international company if needed.
Well, that's fantastic. Anybody have anything for Cameron?
So it sounds like liking your page, is that the best way that you get information out when you have a need?
Yes, sir. It is facebook.com/DART USA, DART USA. Or you can just visit us on our website at dartusa.org as well, and you can get all the links to that.
That's awesome. What great work you're doing. Thanks.
Great, girl. Really great. It's nice to know.
It's more rewarding than anything I've ever done. So it felt like I'm back in the service again.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. We appreciate your prior service and the service as well.
Well, if you ever need another boat to take anything, I might know somebody.
Is that one behind you?
I live on it. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. I have to come take a look.
Yeah. I love that.
All right, Camel. Thank you very, very much.
All right. Thank you guys for having me.
Jamie, you want me to jump right in? Okay. So the show caught me right in the middle of making sure all of my hurricane gear was ready. I got my raincoat. I had to make sure that I was fully protected. And then it just dawned on me that there's other things that need to make sure that we're protecting ourselves from our homes are so important. And it's ironic that as we planned this earlier, I saw a friend who posted, who has nothing to do with the real estate industry, posted today just as a warning to their friends about getting their insurance reviewed right before hurricane season, getting their house ready. And we are lucky to have one of the best experts around, Dolores Smithson. Dolores Smithson is with Chris Johnson Allstate, and she has been such an asset to our team throughout and just helping our clients. As a matter of fact, I trusted her enough with my daughter, and she's just treated her amazing. Dolores is the best in the business, but she's also very knowledgeable on getting your house ready, and she's going to talk a little bit about that, but even reviewing those insurance policies. So Dolores, kind of tell me as you're starting to ramp up now into hurricane season, and unfortunately, I know you've been working hard because I follow you all through this COVID, but you also probably have to start shifting some of your energy over to what we're coming up. So tell us what you're doing and what you suggest.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jerry. Yes, normally at this time of year, we would be looking forward to the Hurricane Expo at the Melbourne Square Mall, where we can make a huge outreach to people about hurricane season and preparation. Unfortunately, due to the COVID situation, that big event will not be happening this year. So we're very actively getting information out to residents here in the Florida area, and especially where we focus, Brevard County, to help our residents be ready. A lot of us are veterans in this. The more we go through it, the more and more we're prepared. But I will never get tired of, this being a big part of my job. So I started doing this 20 years ago, and the first 3 years, of course, I well knew all the coverage for hurricanes within the policies, but there were no hurricanes, and there hadn't been, and so it wasn't really a big topic of discussion. So 2004 came along, and boy, did that change everything. We were in the center of the storm repeatedly that year, and with one hurricane after another, all Floridians saw things change dramatically with insurance rates, language in our policies, and things of that nature. And we've had our peaks and valleys with activity ever since then here in Florida. So from an insurance perspective, what I first start out with is just the basics. Whether you are staying or evacuating for the upcoming hurricane season, you should be in touch with your agent to complete your homeowner's policy review. We very actively reach out to our policy holders a minimum of 3 times a year to review their homeowner's insurance. One of those times, again, being before hurricane season starts. We also send out email invitations and evites and things of that nature, and automated calls too, to remind people in their busyness to set aside a few minutes to do this very important review. So when you are looking at your insurance policy with your agent, what we're going to go over with you very explicitly, number one, is make sure your policy is paid and it is active, because sometimes life gets busy, and this certain circumstances right now can prove to be very challenging and people are struggling. We are very fortunate right now that all of the insurance companies we work with at our agency are working with people who are financially struggling to pay their premiums right now. And they are making accommodations. They do not want people to have to let their coverage cancel. And so it has really been, an enlightening experience to be able to do that. So number one, making sure your policy is active and current before everything starts. Second, we go over your coverages very explicitly, your dwelling coverage amount. Have you made modifications to your home, upgraded things, added additions where your dwelling coverage amount is no longer sufficient? It happens all the time. And you might not think, after you have this beautiful pool put in and a brand new pool enclosure, oh, who's the first person I want to call? And Dolores, and tell her about this. Well, you might have not thought about doing that because instead you want to be out there enjoying that new pool. Well, guess what? That $20,000 pool cage and pool needs coverage, and the pool itself will be covered under the dwelling coverage. However, it may not be enough coverage. That pool cage, it is not automatically going to be covered. And for hurricanes, that is, I should stipulate. So you are going to want to get that coverage added onto the policy. And it is a minimal additional cost, but without that coverage, that pool cage, which is the most prone to wind damage, is not going to be covered. So important things like that, we want to look at and go over with a fine-tooth comb on coverage. Secondly, we want to look at your deductibles and go over your hurricane deductible. For most folks in Florida, your hurricane deductible is 2% of your dwelling coverage amount. So that can be a sizable deductible for a lot of people. Don't have that amount of money laying around. If you have a $200,000 house, that's $4,000. That is a one-time annual deductible, so it's not every storm. It's just a one-time, but nevertheless, it's still a big deductible. So the important thing is to make sure, do you have that emergency fund set aside just in case, you do have damage and have to put in a claim? And part B of that, when we're doing our review, is that almost all of the carriers, as of last year, began offering the option to buy down your hurricane deductible, getting rid of that 2% deductible and having only a flat $1,000 or $2,500 deductible, a lot more manageable. Does it make your premium more? Yes, but with most of my companies, it's only $100 or $200 more a year on average. Well, that's worth it to have a $1,000 deductible versus a $4,000 or $5,000 deductible. So the thing about the deductibles is you must address that prior to your renewal, because on hurricane deductibles, you cannot change it unless it is at renewal. So don't let your renewal go past if you want to change those deductibles and have those options available for you. So those are the main things when looking over coverages that we're going to review with our policyholders. The second thing is you are going to want to make sure you keep an active copy of your policy with you or on your phone or however you want to access it, with the phone number to your local agency and the direct number to your carrier, the claims department phone number, so that no matter where you are at the time, if you need to report a claim, you can easily do that. Most every carrier also has the ability to submit a claim online, so you can go directly to their website and submit it. And in fact, sometimes it's actually faster, because what I have found over the years is when we do have a number of hurricanes occur, and everyone's calling in to report that claim by phone, the phone lines get overwhelmed, as we know, and you may have a long time getting through. So oftentimes it is faster if you go to the carrier's website and submit that claim online. So just some important tidbits as far as that. As far as other things to do with your insurance, certainly I would recommend knowing that you can reach out to your agent at any time when you have a claim and put the claim in through us. I help almost all of my policyholders put in their claims, but you can also reach out directly to the carrier, or like I said, go online to report those losses. So again, you just want to make sure that you have your current policy information and the current claims phone number. Secondly, my big drive since January From January to June 1st, I make a huge drive to reach out to all of our policyholders about flood insurance. It seems as though no matter how many years I do this, policyholders put that on the back burner. Reality check has happened all around us, and watching what happened to Texas and even in the Carolinas this past year, if we were hit in the same manner, we could experience the same catastrophic flooding that they did. And flood insurance is only $300 or $400 a year in most areas of Brevard County. So it is absolutely imperative that people invest that money in getting flood insurance and before hurricane season starts, because there is a mandatory 30-day wait for flood insurance to begin. So if you wait till, hurricane season has started and there's a storm out there, it's going to be too late for your flood insurance to become effective. So very important, to take serious consideration for flood coverage, because rising water or storm surge flooding is absolutely not covered under the homeowner's policy if you do not have a flood insurance policy. I do have some carriers that you can actually just combine it onto your homeowner's policy now, and I recommend that if that's what you want to do, because then you don't have two policies to keep up with, and it's all under the one. So right now, about 50% of the companies are offering that, but most of the time it is a separate policy. So those are the main focuses as far as regarding insurance purposes. We do recommend, if you are staying in your home, secure your home. If you have hurricane panels, make sure that you have someone who can help you. I know people who can come out and help and put my policyholder shutters up. We especially focus on our elderly clients during those times because they may not have people around who can help them that are able-bodied to get those shutters on. Second most important is your home inventory. I cannot emphasize or speak about this enough. Throughout my 20 years, I have been through some really tragic claims. Total losses from tornadoes, from fires, from hurricanes, and that is not the time that a person wants to be coming up with their household inventory. It is a time of stress and high anxiety, and you may forget about family heirlooms that you had tucked away in the guest bedroom closet. So I do recommend people to either do an old school written inventory and update it annually, because let's face it, we like to shop. We get new things every year, so that's important that you attribute for those. Or with the technology that we have now, it actually makes it easy on people, because I like to keep on my smartphone my digital photos of my household inventory, and then I also do my digital photo and keep it in a digital locker, so that every year I just update it before hurricane season happens. And that way, no matter where I go, whether I stay or whether I evacuate, I have my household inventory. With that said, a lot of people say to me, well, if I don't have my household inventory, does that mean my company's not going to pay me for my personal property? Of course not. They're going to pay you, absolutely, replacement costs for your personal property, but it is going to be subsequent to you spending a grievous amount of hours with a replacement cost adjuster who's going to have you come up with that household inventory. Whereas if you already had that, it's a matter of hours. And that's what I like to see. That's why I do this and have been doing this, because I like to see those checks go out quick and fast. And so does your adjuster. Your adjuster wants to be able to do that for you as well. I am very proud to say, with the carriers we represent at Chris Johnson Allstate, some industry leading companies, including Allstate, but many others like Federated National, St. John's, Tower Hill, Florida Peninsula, and many others that after we went through the Hurricane Irma in 2017, and then the hailstorm that happened, last year, that was just a freak event, but so many people had substantial damages, and both times their roofs had to be replaced. Well, they had just gotten a new roof from Hurricane Irma and needed another one. I could not be more proud of how fast the companies paid out those checks to get those roofs replaced a second time. I can't emphasize enough that your agents and your companies are here to help you and to get you through any tough times. And if you run into any hurdles with with your claim, sure that everything gets resolved to take care of our customers as best as possible.
Thank you so much, Dolores. And as we wrap it up, definitely if you call your insurance agent, get that review done. Or if you're not getting the kind of attention that Dolores is talking about, reach out to Dolores at Chris Johnson Allstate. She is the best. Ironically, that's exactly what the person I was talking about was messaging about. It was his pool cage, brand new pool cage, and he found out, unfortunately, that it wasn't covered. So, thank you again. I appreciate everything you do for us, and we'll be talking soon. Jamie,
That was awesome information.
Thank you.
Really good.
Eric, wrap us up. It's 6:30.
Yeah, there's nothing to add to that. I mean, that was awesome, Dolores. It's all about preparation. I'm going to consider adding flood insurance. Seems like a good county to do that in. But I'm definitely going to lower my deductible on my, like you said, did you hear that? And you have to do that before your renewal policy. It doesn't change your annual premium that much. So yeah, it's all about being prepared to buy. If we had more time, I'd ask you to speak a little more about the moratoriums, the binding prohibitions, I guess you'd say, temporarily on a named storm, if there's something spinning out there and intensifying. But that's it. You covered everything from having, being prepared, so same thing with planning. If you're looking to buy in that process, have your financing in place so you can focus on stocking your supplies, food, fuel, and water, charging your cell phones. So you can be ready to hit the door if you need to. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
awesome. That's a wrap, right? 30 minutes. Look at us.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dolores.
Thank you,
Everybody.
Just to let everybody know, when you watch this, if you have anybody in the community that you think you would like to see featured, make sure that you reach out to one of us or just post it on our Facebook group, the 321 Home Team Experts. We would love to contact them and feature them. So let us know. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys. Have a great night.
Bye,
Bye.
Dolores.
Bye-bye.